My name is Olga Sagan and I'm the owner of Pirozhki Bakery. We have been in Seattle's Pike Place Market for over 30 years. We do traditional Eastern European pirozhkis. Pirozhkis are handheld pies, very different than pierogis. Pierogis are boiled dumplings and pirozhkis are pies, kind of like empanadas or calzones that are stuffed inside, and you can stuff it with as many different fillings as you want. We at the bakery have about 30 different fillings, but today we'll be making potato cheese, traditional beef and potato, beef and cheese. We're also gonna make a rhubarb piroshky and chocolate cream hazelnut roll. But for now, we'll start with dough. So we're gonna start with the dough here. The key is to warm up your milks. 1.5 cup of milk, really warmed up, but to the point where you can touch it, but it is really nice and warm. You wanna add 4 tablespoons of sugar. While the milk is warm, we're gonna do just 4 tablespoons of sugar and 4.5 teaspoons of dry active yeast to really get that dough going for you. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. It's kind of hard to do a half, but we got it, I think. And then mix it really gently. So the sugar and the yeast will be activated in this warm milk mixture. You want to let it sit for about 5-10 minutes till it gets really frosty on top, and we'll be back with that frost. While we're waiting for yeast dough to yeast mixture to really activate, we're gonna mix our filling for our sweet rhubarb piroshky. So really piroshky, you can put anything in it. So this time we're gonna do rhubarb vanilla filling. What you wanna do, you wanna go to the store and you wanna buy some rhubarb and then chop it up a little bit. We already have it all chopped up. So we're gonna add it to our mixing bowl. If there is any juices, you really want to make sure the juices are not inside the bowl, so really strain it and make sure it's nice and fruity like that. Then we can add some breadcrumbs. You can make breadcrumbs from scratch, or you just can get, a panko breadcrumbs, and just add a little bit right on top here, so it's nice and covering up your rhubarb really well. And then this is your regular vanilla pudding. So adding the vanilla pudding, it's really gonna help with tartness of the rhubarb. Rhubarb can be in very different flavors, depends on the year. So vanilla pudding is really gonna offset what's happening to your rhubarb, so you can really make it year round. And you can get creative. Strawberry vanilla rhubarb pies are very famous, so you can always add a whole bunch of other stuff in there, like strawberries or little bit of cinnamon, and really be creative with your filling. Again, piroshkis are very, very forgiving. You can put anything inside and it's gonna come out really, really good. So we're gonna mix this mixture here and we'll be right back. While rhubarb filling will stay here on the side, as you see, this is the consistency of the filling that we wanna get. We will continue on with our dough. We're gonna take 4 cups of flour. I'm gonna put it in a big bowl. 1, 2. This is the fun part. You do want to be careful when you're mixing dough. It is kind of a precise recipe. Maybe chefs are not gonna agree with me, but when you're cooking, you can kind of do some stuff here and there a little bit. But when you work with the dough and flour, you really want to be precise on your recipe. So we have 4 cups of flour. 1 teaspoon of salt. Whoopsie. 1 teaspoon of salt. We're gonna break into. We're gonna mix it a little bit over here. Gonna make a space in the middle, and we're gonna break in 2 eggs right in the middle of your mixture. 2 large eggs will work. So we have flour, we have our salt, we have 2 eggs, and then previously I have melted 6 tablespoons of butter, And it's not warm, but it is melted here. We're gonna put it right in the middle. And our yeast mixture, it's very important. As you see, our yeast mixture really raised up, and it has all this frosting on top. So that's how you want to see your yeast. And we're gonna put it right in the middle. And then you can mix it with a wooden spoon, or you can go ahead and do it with your hands. I will go ahead and do it with my hands. And it feels really weird, but it feels good, nice and warm. So you want to give it a nice, good mix. And your dough will be coming together. Right, like this. If it gets a little bit too sticky and you see that you used up all the flour, you can add a little bit of flour, but be careful. It's easy to add flour. It's hard to subtract flour. So really take your time before you're starting to add any ingredients in your dough. And it's coming together for us, nice and slow. Oh, it is a little bit sticky. But I still have flour in my bowl. Just be patient with your dough. It's gonna feel warm. It's gonna feel like it's alive. It is an yeast dough, so there is a live, active culture in there. And once it's all combined in one bowl, you can really bring it on top of your kitchen table or your cutting board and keep kneading it. Keep working with it for about 8 and 10 minutes. We'll be right back. Now that we have dough sit a little bit, maybe about 20 minutes or so, here is a piece of dough that we have that we're gonna make our piroshkis of. So we're gonna start making little dough balls out of this dough. It's really gonna be base for all your pastries. I would say 3.5 ounce size would be good. Just depends, you can really go bigger or smaller with that. Just depends what you wanna see. So 3.5 ounces is a good size of a piroshki. Maybe you wanna start with 2 ounces, little smaller. You'll see how big it's gonna come out at the end. You can really, again, piroshki is something you can be really creative with and play with sizes and the shapes. We at the bakery have about 30 different fillings, and the only way for us to know what the filling is inside is the way we shape it, because everything that you're gonna see will be inside this pastry right here. So those gonna be, again, pretty big. It's probably a meal size piroshki, and you make a dough balls like this. If it's a little bit too sticky, add some flour. It'll help you with stickiness. Here you go. And then we're gonna roll it out. The good shape to go with is usually a circle or an oval shape for your dough. And you want it to get pretty thin. Again, on the shape you're gonna be planning to work with. We're gonna start with a kind of like a fun bagel shape. It's not very popular shape, but it is really fun to eat and easy to handle. So we're just gonna make those oval little shapes and prepare the dough to put the filling inside. You do want to work with your dough while it's still nice and warm. If you're thinking that you need to work with your dough later, you do want to put it in the fridge as soon as you make it. And then when you take it out of the fridge, just give it maybe 45 minutes in room temperature to warm up and to really kind of rise up a little bit. You're gonna feel the bounciness of it. And once you feel it a little bit bouncy, then it's good to work with. So believe it or not, that this was the hardest part of our experience, is making the dough. Once you have the dough, it really is whatever you want to do with it. If you're not feeling adventurous, this is gonna be your pizza. Put some sauce on it, put some cheese on it, put it in the oven. That's all there is to it. So the hardest part is done here. So the first piroshki we're gonna start with is potato and cheese. We have some shredded potatoes here. Just put some salt, some pepper, really kind of get it almost ready to eat. So it's really up to your taste. You're not going to be adding any more seasoning once you put it inside. So you want to make sure it tastes good for you. It's really what you want to see. So we're going to add some potatoes in a bowl right here, just a little bit. And then we're going to add some shredded cheese. I would like to use sharp cheddar cheese. We like to use our Tillamook cheese from Oregon in Seattle, but really whatever cheese you want, you do want it a sharp cheddar, so there's a taste of cheese in it, and it's gonna, once it bakes, it will melt nice in your piroshkis. Sometimes at home I actually make mashed potatoes as well. I make mashed potatoes, add some bacon, add some butter, and you can also fill it with mashed potatoes, and it's really, really, really good. So it really, again, it's whatever you want kind of will go inside the pastry. This dough is not very sticky right now. To make it a little bit stickier, we're gonna make a little egg wash mixture. It will help us make it a little stickier and will help us make it a little bit shiny once we bake it. And we'll be right back. Excellent. So now that I have everything I need for egg wash, it's really easy to make. You take an egg. Again, depends how many piroshkis you're making. Maybe 1 egg, maybe 2 eggs. You're really gonna not use a lot of it, so I'll just use 1 egg for now. And then we can always add more eggs. And just as much of an egg, you wanna add some water to it. Otherwise, it's gonna be too thick to work with. And you can whisk it with the whisk. I'll just do the fork here, and here in baking what we call an egg wash. So again, this mixture will really help your dough stick together, and we will be, once we bake in it, we're gonna put it on top of piroshkis, and it's gonna make it really nice and shiny. So here are our little boats for our potato cheese. I'm gonna use brush, and we're gonna put it only on one side, right here like this, for this shape here. And you really don't want to overdo the filling, because you want to make sure your piroshki is really nice and closed. So just like that, that's plenty of filling inside. Here you go. And now we're gonna close it. Okay, let's see. So the way I close this one is you bring 2 pieces of dough together and you just start folding it nice and gentle like this. So you have one long calzone. And I fold it back, and then I twist it, and it becomes a little bagel looking like piroshki. It's gonna be really easy and nice to hold once it's done. And kids usually really love it because, again, it looks like bagel. It has a lot of potatoes and cheese, and who doesn't like potato and cheese? Again, you fold it like the boat, you stick it together, you fold the ends. Once it's completely closed, pull on it a little bit and roll it in a little circle. And then we're gonna do a third one right now. And this is gonna be our potato and cheese piroshki. And we're gonna know it's potato cheese because it is shaped like a little bagel. So remember that, because once we have a lot more, it's gonna be hard to say what is what. The potato cheese is done here. We can let it sit. We can usually let it sit for about 20 minutes once you shape it. Again, for a dough to rise up a little bit and be a little bit more spongy. So I recommend doing 2 layers of egg wash. So we'll do one once we form it. And then we'll do one more layer right before putting it in the oven as well. And we'll be right back with other piroshkis in a minute. Perfect. So now we have rolled out our dough, and then we're really gonna get creative with our filling. As you see, it's again a little bit different shapes. This ones I want to make a little round just for fun, so you can see different shapes of the pastries. Just a little round. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, once you get the dough done, it's really not a perfect kind of business. You can be really creative, and you almost cannot make a mistake. The dough is a little bit harder to make, so at our bakery we do sell the dough. That's the hardest part. So once you get the dough down, you're good to go. So we're gonna make two different kinds, two more different kinds: beef and cheese, and we're gonna make beef and potato. So those are beef and potato is very traditional. Beef and cheese is a little bit more Americanized version. Again, we add some cheddar cheese to it, and it tastes so good. So we're gonna take a little bit of, we have our ground beef here. You just wanna buy your regular beef, put it on a fryer, just fry it a little bit, add some onions, add some peppers, really get it to a taste that you like it, because again, there's gonna be no more spices. We like to add steak seasoning to it, a little bit of soy sauce, again, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, and you really wanna make sure it's nice and ground for you, so it's easy for you to work with. And for cheese, we're gonna use the same cheese we used before. So it's a sharp cheddar cheese or medium cheddar cheese. We're gonna take a bowl right here. I'm gonna put some beef in the bowl. And your cheese, again, if you want it cheesier, put some more cheese. If you want a little bit less cheesier, put some less cheese. The Russian traditional version is actually beef and onion with no cheese. So if you really want to go traditional, just get your ground beef, really cook it well, add some onions, and here you go with the traditional piroshky. Again, we put it right in the middle, not too much, not too little, so you have nice edges here with egg wash right on top. Just like this much. Perfect. So this is going to be our beef and cheese, and the next one is we're going to do our beef and potato. We have some ground beef left here. Remember, potato we used for our potato and cheese piroshky. Use the same potato. Again, mashed potatoes are a great version as well if you want to do mashed potatoes, but our is shredded potatoes right here. You do want all your ingredients to be cooked and ready to eat before you put it inside. It is just safer and easier. So definitely make sure everything is cooked really well. Mix beef and potato right here. And then we're gonna put it right in the middle. Oop, we forgot our egg wash here. We'll do it in 1 second. You see, again, piroshkis are very forgiving once you get the dough right. You can add things later, subtract things later. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put egg wash right here on the side. And then we're gonna create two more shapes here of different ones. So beef and cheese, I like to make it round. So all you do is just you fold the dough around. Just like this. Play with shapes, you know, really get creative. The reason it can be open like that is because we'll bake it like this, and beef is really good. It's staying inside, it's getting a little hardened, and once you bake it, it stays inside the dough. You don't want anything loose like that because it might run away, but beef is really gonna stay in. So here's your circles. Beef and potato will be similar to our potato cheese shape. You want to close the edges. Remember to have egg wash on the edges. Make it a little bit like a boat looking shape, then flip it. I'm gonna get rid of that beef and that potato. And what I like to do is add a little bit of fun, and if you make a little cuts here, it's gonna bake really nice with the little cuts like that. So again, once you get good at making them, you really can put a lot more filling once you understand how the dough develops, but you don't want your fillings to run away. Again, if they do run away, not a big deal. You know, it's still gonna be delicious. Again, close it, stick it together. fold it over like this and just flip it. Close the ends. And then again, I like it to just make a little bit of cuts. Doesn't matter 4, 5, 3, just not too deep and not too many, just like that. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna egg wash it, just like we did potato cheese. We're gonna garnish it and stick it in the oven. And we'll be right back. Perfect, so now that our shapes are ready, we're gonna do a little bit of garnish. We're gonna place our piroshkis on our tray here. Remember, this one was potato and cheese. This one is beef and cheese. And this one is beef and potato. Do you want to egg wash them all? Again, I'm actually gonna do it twice on the other ones since we forgot the first time. Again, we'll make it nice and shiny. You can use silicone brush. You can also do it with your hands. So for a little bit of garnish, we usually like to use dill weed on top just to add some color. But here I have cilantro, so we're just gonna put a little bit of cilantro right on top. You see how it's not sticky, so nothing is sticking? The egg wash really helps the stickiness. It's gonna really just add a little bit of color to your pastries. For beef and cheese, what I like to do is I like green onions. So I would chop up a little bit of green onions like this. I will gonna take a little bit of cheese, gonna mix some cheese and green onions. Look at this color that's gonna add. And then just sprinkle some right on top, right here, like that. So you have your beef and cheese piroshki, your potato cheese piroshki, and your beef and potato piroshki. I think it's ready to go in the oven. And then we'll do the sweet ones a little fast. We'll be right back. Okay, now we're gonna continue with our sweet ones. Again, the same dough. Dough is the key. Whatever you do, once you get the dough right, everything else is a breeze. I made 3 circles, and I also have this dough here. It's actually the same dough, but what I did is I rolled our dough out, buttered it, folded, rolled it out, buttered it, folded, rolled it out, buttered it, folded 4 times, and then you end up having this kind of puff pastry, buttery dough that is a little bit more complex, but really a lot of fun to work with. But this is our original circles that we did beef and cheese with. Again, a little bit of egg wash. If you're doing something vegan, our dough is vegan, you can actually use water. It will do the same. It's not going to be as shiny on the outside, but it will do the same purpose. Because again, piroshkis can be anything. You can do vegan options, like if you take this dough, it's vegan dough, you add some egg wash, and then you put some apples or like cranberry sauce mixed with apples inside. You're gonna have beautiful cranberry and apple piroshki, and that could be a vegan version as well. This one we're doing rhubarb. We were mixing it earlier with some vanilla, some breadcrumbs, and rhubarb. Again, you can put strawberries in it and make your strawberry rhubarb piroshki as well. So filling, again, jam, chocolate, I think even peanut butter. Kind of anything you want can go inside. You know what, I'm gonna put a little bit more because my dough came out a little bigger. So I will be a little bit more generous with my filling here. And this is our rhubarb filling. And who doesn't like to have a lot of sweets, right? And this one, I'm gonna make a square shape now. So we did a circle, we did kind of round bagel shape, and we did a little bit of a oval long shape. Now this is a square shape right here. Super easy. You fold it on those sides, on both sides here, kind of press it in with your fingers, and then fold it like this. And we just got our square shaped piroshkis as well. So you really are playing a lot with all kinds of shapes you can come up with. So it is a fun food to mess with and to make, and really cannot make any mistakes in it once your dough is done. So again, the dough is the key. So here's our square shape for our rhubarb, but imagine having jam inside, or imagine having cranberry and apple inside. Really kind of anything you want. And fill it up. And here are our squares. This one we're gonna do a little bit different. This one is a chocolate, and I'm gonna make our bakery's traditional chocolate shape. I'm gonna cut it on two sides here. This chocolate is super sticky. This is our house-made chocolate cream vanilla filling, but how you can make it at home, you can take Nutella, super sticky. The water helps. I'm gonna put my finger in the water here, sorry about that. Take Nutella filling, take a little bit of hazelnuts and chocolate pudding. See, water makes it, really makes a huge difference. Mix it up all together and you can make a great house-made chocolate filling. Hopefully it's gonna be better than ours, but ours is really, really good. I'm gonna cut corners, not the corners, insides like that, just maybe an inch from the sides. Egg wash, you always wanna do egg wash. Here. Here you go, just a little layer. Remember, we only did one egg and we're still using it. We still have a lot left. So really not a lot of eggs here. And then we'll twist it like this. And here is a chocolate shape like that. Twist it over. Fold it on the side. And here's your chocolate. I should have put more chocolate in there. Well, I'll have more opportunities later to do that. So here it is. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna put some egg wash on top of it. We'll put it on a tray, let it sit for about 10 minutes in a room temperature until the dough is nice and spongy, and then we're gonna stick it in the oven and we'll be right back. Okay, perfect. So you put it in the oven for till it's golden brown like that. Oven is at 350 degrees. And keep an eye on it. You don't want to hold it longer than that. It will get a little harder. But here's our potato cheese. Here's our beef and potato with those little cuts that we did on top. Here's our beef and cheese. The cheese got a little bit burned on the side, but you know what? It's nice and crunchy, so it's good. We also have our sweet ones that came out, and with the sweet ones, we're gonna powder sugar it like this. Here's our rhubarb. Remember, we mixed rhubarb. We put some vanilla there. I'm gonna put some powdered sugar, and look at this beautiful pastries right here. And as you can see, you can make it a dessert, it's a snack, it's a lunch, it's dinner. It can be anything. Oh, it's breakfast as well. You put some bacon, hash browns, egg and cheese, and it's breakfast as well. They also freezable. You can put them, you can bake them, put it in the freezer. They warm up really well. Microwave, oven, air fryer, and they can stay in the freezer for a couple months as well. So once you have this adventure, make a lot, bake some off, freeze them, and then warm it up anytime. I'm excited. These ones are still super hot. Those chocolate cream hazelnuts look so good. We did make it on a smaller size. In our bakery, it would be a little bigger. Like this is our smoked salmon pate piroshky. So as you can see, it's just a bit bigger here. And we put wild salmon inside this cream cheese. It's a really delicious one. Okay, which one should we open? Let's open beef and potato. Ooh, look at that. Here is your snack, lunch, dinner. Again, you can experiment with your filling. You can put a little bit more, you can put a little bit less. It's not gonna be too doughy. Just make sure you roll out your dough really, really well. The potato cheese, you can hold it like that, eat it like that as well. Very easy, kids love it. And let's open this one up as well. You see, it's nice and cheesy and gooey in the middle. It's really good. I want some. We'll be right back. Thank you so much. So today we have made potato and cheese piroshki, beef and cheese piroshki, beef and potato, chocolate cream hazelnut, and rhubarb. Again, you can make it from scratch, or you can go to our website, piroshkibakery.com. We are from Seattle, original Pike Place Market. Please visit our website. You're gonna see 30 different fillings, but this is how you make it at home. Thank you so much.